All right, boys and girls, so now that we've finished our treatment, we're going to go ahead and finish off with some basic rehab exercises. So we'll go ahead and start with Beth. Give us some examples of what you like to incorporate.
Okay, so what I find is the majority of people, they jet their head all day long. They're like this, right? They got their head sticking out. So something I like them to practice is bringing their chin back. So give yourself a double chin, give yourself that kind of a motion backwards. Something that I like doing in particular, because people forget to do this all the time, do it when you're at a red light. If you're sitting there waiting, just give yourself a double chin.
Okay.
It's a great stretch for
And you
yourself.
think that she's joking. She's not joking, okay? When I teach it to classes, what do we have them do? We have them actually lift their chest up, tuck their chin back, string on the top, and you need to see your voice actually changes, double or triple chin if you can get it, okay? That's fundamental. It's reversing the curves of us fighting all day and does what we call an upper cross syndrome for most practitioners and patients that we see it in. All right, Catherine, what else do you like to do?
Yeah, I would actually like to add a little bit to that, even in the office where you're envisioning that string at the top, but also in the middle of your chest where you're bringing it forward. If you're at the office and you're just taking a little bit of break, you can actually wing out the arms and the knees at the same time, as well as lengthening the chest and the cervical region, and that's actually a wonderful full body way of stretching everything out and undoing that curve of just being on the computer and doing all your mathematical skills. You're an accountant.
Fantastic.
But another great stretch and rehab exercise that I like to tell my patients to do, especially if they're in the car, if they're in the office, and they just need a little bit of a break. I mean, smokers get a little bit of a 15-minute smoke break every few hours. I think that we also should get a smoke break. It's more like a stretch break. So, sometimes I jokingly tell my patients to tell their bosses that they've taken up smoking, so they can just go up and do a little bit of a walk around the block and then come back and then they're all refreshed and stuff. But if you don't want to lie to your boss, then just at your desk you can smell your armpit pretty much. And then you just look at your armpit and then bring your chin to your chest as much as possible. If you can handle that, and that's fine, then put the hand at the back of the head and then just push a little bit to your tolerance. And then that will get that extra stretch into it, and make sure you do both sides so you're not a little uneven. And then if you want to do even a little bit more muscle groups, then you can do what Dr. Nick just did, which is ear to the shoulder, and then just push towards the shoulder as well. And then you can get all of the muscle groups in the cervical region.
Yep, and it doesn't have to be a smoking break. You can call it you can say it to your boss as a productivity break. You will actually be more productive when you come back after this break, and the literature supports that across the board if people get up and move.
I was just joking.
Yeah, no, she was. It was good. Okay. All right, so another one that we'll toss in there that everybody should be aware of is the use of a blood pressure cuff to actually give the patient a readable data that they can follow to see if they're getting better and challenging their neck a little bit more. Where I would use this typically is with somebody with a whiplash type injury. So if we can, who's got whiplash here? Neither of us, none of us have whiplash. We'll cut that little part out because whatever. Okay, but on really severe anterior neck injuries or just weakness with flexion of the anterior part, we can get Beth to lay down and we're going to do a sample of a example of how you'd use this blood pressure cuff. So you can use this anywhere in the body, but your ultimate goal is it's a measure of pressure, so you can measure pressure and the patient can work and see how they're actually generating force with different parts of their body, and it gives instantaneous feedback. Not a digital monitor. You want an analog monitor that actually does this for you. So Beth, we're just going to slide this under your neck here and have you lay back. And we just pump it up until we just feel it, just up like this. What I want you to do is I want you to hold this, and you are going to push your neck back and try and get that number to increase. Okay, so it's great for the patient because exactly that is the reaction they give. It's their first time doing this, is you can actually see the numbers increase when you do that. So if your goal is to increase neck extension, which is actually longest surfaces in anterior neck musculature, this is a win for the patient, a win for you, because let's be honest, when's the last time you probably used your blood pressure cuff? Am I right? Am I right? Okay. All right, so it doesn't stop there, boys and girls, though. What else could you do? If you wanted to, let's say you've got a patient with some low back issues and you're looking for that person to be able to take their low back and round it out. You can do the same thing where it goes underneath the back, she lays back on it nice and flat, and it's the same thing, looking at the dial itself and then pushing your low back into the mat, into the floor, or into the table, whatever it is. And this is a great way to give kinesthetic feedback. I use a lot of analog scales in my practice as well, and to teach students how to adjust. And all of these things give you instantaneous feedback so you can really see how you're doing and have some numbers to shoot for. All right, so hopefully you found this useful, and we thank you very much for your time. Is there anything else that you guys want to add for cervical concerns that patients come in with?
We can start with that.
Okay.
Oh gosh, put the pressure on me.
Yeah,
I know. Just your history. Know where it's coming from. If it is your neck, Dr. Nick mentioned that in the beginning, differential diagnosis is the key.
Yeah.
So if you're treating the neck and it's actually something that's totally in the jaw or elsewhere, don't waste your time, don't waste your patient's time. Figure that out.
Exactly. Nice.
And along with the history, ask if they self-adjust a lot. I find that a lot of my patients do a little crack here and there, and they self-adjust and like, oh, I'm so much better. I don't have to see anyone for it. I can just do it myself. But what they're actually doing is hypermobilizing those ligaments and that specific segment. And the problem actually probably is something that they can't get themselves. So seeing and telling them not to do that anymore, or really fighting that urge, and then getting them more specific treatment would be the best option.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent points from both of you guys. And I think that's the biggest thing right there, is make sure you shop around, find practitioners that are experts in their fields, and making sure that they're giving you the best quality care possible. So hopefully you found this useful, and we'll thank you very much for your time. Bye.